Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. This is a brand new segment. With us is Rohit Srivastava. He's the Chief Investment Officer and Portfolio Manager for Saroj and Bhanu Fund, and has put together a portfolio index for us with cannabis stocks with an artificial intelligence-based algorithm that has some predictive analytics. Of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. But with that, Rohit, tell us a little bit about yourself, your company, and what this is all about.
Well, thanks, Josh, for welcoming me, and I appreciate that. Like you introduced, it's a business intelligence, artificial intelligence-based system, which takes various stocks and various equities and volatility and tries to understand which way the equity market overall goes. But here we are focused completely on the cannabis. So here I want to give you an overview of what we talked last week and where we are right now, and also probably try to dive into an overview of all the stocks, equities which are in this cannabis index. Just a little bit, the same disclosure, what you're saying is this is completely for entertainment and for learning perspective. We're not here to give you advice here based on saying that this is what you got to buy. This is completely entertainment and education. Like we talked last week, that this is an index of which consists of these 19 stocks and equities, and these this index has investments of companies which are somehow related to cannabis. Some of them are property management, some of them are testing products, some of them are actually entertainment-based products. So it includes various different stuff. And so what really equally weighted investment means, like if you imagine like you put $100 on each of these, or $5 or $1, whatever the value is, if you take that, the index is going to be that amount. So if you take that, and if the starting value of that was $1, at this point, from the inception of the index, at this point, the dollar value is about $5 and $5.90. About 2 weeks ago, when we started discussing this, the value of this index was about $5.50, around that. So, like you can see, the trend is in the upward direction, and it has some turn that happened in the middle of July, end of August, where they started turning around, and we had like the index break in at 111. That's where that was the point to get back into that. And with a little bit of turn, it's now at a point where it's actually in the downward direction. And even with the newer trend, which is making, it is still in the downward direction. That's what it was last week. And we could see a support at 475, and there was also support at about $5.50, but it's right about at that same point. So where it is right now is it has turned a little bit, like you can see here, that it has a little bit more turn coming back up, but it has not really recovered as such to say that, you know what, it is at a buying point. And the last time when we talked about $4.75 of support, it is paused. It turned around at $5.35. So, but the point is that it's not turned yet. There is no confirmation. Until it doesn't cross any of these trend lines, we cannot affirmatively say that, you know what, it has actually turned around. The buying point of this point would be at $5.90. When it turns at $5.90, that might be a good point to get back in. At that point, we can say that, you know what, it is in the positive direction. Since then, from the last we talked, we have about 3% of gain. The other view, which which is the cash in and cash outflow, what really means is that to tell that how much money has gone into the cannabis index and how much money has come out. Based on that, you can say that the market is overall positive or negative, or people are trying to withdraw money, or people are trying to pump in money. So the blue line is the actual cash in and cash flow with the 15-day moving average, and the red line is the average daily trading value. That's what on a million basis. So like we discussed last time, that 111 was the entry point, and like you can see here, or like you can see in the previous slide, that 111 was the entry point. And this is completely was in a downtrend, and we were expecting to have some signal in the next 2 weeks to decide that, you know, if it's actually going to move upwards or not. And what we have this week is the signal has not really turned positive for it. It is still stuck at the same point. It has not crossed the average daily trade value per equity. So we're still at a hold position, I would say, that we are not moved in, but it might be turning around in the next 2 weeks, and we can see in the next 2 weeks where this is going. So this is specifically for people who want to invest from a long-term perspective and when to get in. And this, what I would say, is basically at this point we're still at hold if you are even a long-term investor from this Cannabis Index point of view. Now, the previous slides was more for long-term investors, people who want to get into that. And this is more for short-term investors, traders who buy and sell individual stocks or individual and are interested in trying to learn that how to get into that. So the AI tool, basically what it does is it signals like, oh yeah, this stock is probably a good buy at this point, and this stock is at a good point to sell. So sell at this point. Each of these stocks are all tied with a stop loss, so that if there is a sudden drop or sudden loss, we're not waiting for the signal to reactively tell us that there is, but proactively taking measures to save the capital. So here, like you can see that the stocks which says hold, what it really means is buy and hold. Means I would have bought this on 820 and would have been holding on that. And if the signal to buy was on 820, and at some point there's going to be a sell signal, or it's going to be a 5% or loss, and at a 5% loss it will sell automatically. So like you can see here that these the ABV would have been bought on 820 and at 641, and at today as of 9/16 the price was 71.61, so we're having about 7 to 8% gain. Now, not all of this, I want to caution all of these that, you know, when you see a percentage of 80%, like you can see of with the NTEC being an 80% of gain, which is totally a valid gain, but you got to imagine that this particular equity has a market cap of 100 million. It's a very small company. The trading value is very low. It really doesn't mean that if I would have put 1 billion, I would have had to 1.8 billion. So just from an understanding perspective, these all companies are very small. Like we talked earlier in the slide where I mentioned that most of these companies are a very small cap, like 100 million, 200 million market cap. The only big ones are the Arteria Group and the ABB. Those are really the big ones you can see that. So overall, most of these signals, which you can see, happen in the early part of this month, or really the late part, really late part of August. And next week, there might be a sell signal for all of these, or there might be a still rally going on for some of them, and we'll catch up on that next week. So from a summary point of view, where we are from a long-term investors is the cannabis market is still on a hold, still in a downtrend. I would say it's not in the turn back into an uptrend. And if somebody really wants to invest, they would have to wait for the cash in and cash outflow to be positive. It means more money would have been pumped into this stock market before they decide that they want to get back in. So from a investment point of view, from a long-term investment point of view, on this particular index, which defines that how the cannabis market itself is going, I would say it's in the hold. Any questions I can answer for you, Josh?
No, you nailed it. How do people get a hold of you?
That's the point. That's my phone number, and that's my email address to reach out to me.
Perfect. Well, with that, we're going to roll this one up. Rohit Srivastava, Chief Investment Officer and Portfolio Manager for Saroj and Bhanu Fund, talking all about this AI-based algorithm with predictive analytics for entertainment purposes only. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.
Thank you. Talk to you later.